close my eyes and go back, play it in my mind. A movie of us together.
Hey there friends, it's Carly. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new here, and welcome to today's video, which is a compilation of all the best spots in Jervis Bay. Now, I have been living here for the past 7 years, and before we move out of this glorious patch of paradise, I wanted to share with you my favorite beaches, walking spots, restaurants and cafes, and shops as well. So if that is something you're keen to see, grab yourself a cuppa and let's get into the video. All right, we are gonna start off with beaches because that's what I think Jervis Bay is most commonly known for. Obviously, there are so many glorious beaches in this region, but I'm gonna share with you my favorite ones. Now, out in the national park, there are plenty to choose from, but Dave and I's personal favorite is Summer Cloud Bay because it has a tendency to be a little bit more quiet, and there's also some great snorkeling spots out by the rocks as well. If you park in the Summer Cloud car park, if you are up for a little short walk, you can get to Whiting's Beach, which is absolutely stunning. It has crystal clear water, some great places to jump off the rocks. The beach portion itself isn't very large and it is a little bit of a trek, but in my opinion, well worth it. And then outside of the national park, my personal favorite beach to go to is Chinaman's Beach. It is in the Hyams Beach sort of community, but you've got Hyams Beach on one end and Chinaman's on the other. And a lot of people end up going to Hyams Beach community and parking wherever they can get a park. Honestly, it can be a little bit hectic, particularly during the summer school holidays, but they travel down to the Hyams Beach section and ignore the glorious Chinaman's Beach. So it does have that beautiful white sand and it is quite protected as well, but it doesn't have the same amount of tourists populating the patches of sand as Hyams does. Now, just a hop, skip and a jump around the corner from Chinaman's Beach is another one of my favorites, and that is Greenfields Beach. Now, I love Greenfields Beach. I've got a personal connection to it, considering that is where Dave and I got married, but it is the one out of all of the ones I've mentioned that has a tendency to get the most packed. It's not a particularly large beach. It has beautiful white sand. It usually has lovely float over waves. There are different rock sections you can jump off. There's like a lovely picnic area there. Like, it's got it all going on, but it's also very much accessible from Vincentia, and you don't need to pay the park fee to get in there because it's not part of the national park. So it does have, you know, that draw card for tourists and holiday makers who are able to drive and park there quite easily. So the car park definitely gets packed, the beach gets packed. If you're interested in going to Greenfields, I would definitely suggest getting there early and pulling up your patch of sand. When it comes to bushwalks, obviously the national park is a big draw card. There are plenty of walks that you can take throughout the national park, whether it's going to the old ruined lighthouse or trekking down to Steamers Beach. One of my favorite ones is the Wildflower Walking Loop up near the headland, which gives you a fantastic view over to Bowen Island as well. You can access that from the Murray's Beach car park, and there's a heap to look at along the way. If you have a bit more time to spend out in the national park, going to the Botanic Gardens is a great walk as well. It's not necessarily considered a walk or a hike per se, but there is plenty of paths around the Botanic Gardens through different sections of the garden and around the man-made lake there, which can keep you busy for at least an hour or so. Why not take a little bit of a picnic lunch and you can kind of make a day of it. If you don't want to pay the fee to go out to the park, another short and accessible walk that I love is the walk from Chinaman's Beach to Greenfields Beach. There's also a scribbly gum track which you can take from the Greenfields Beach picnic area, and it's kind of a bit of a larger loop that connects to the rest of the trail as well. There's beautiful outlooks of the ocean along the way, and it's just very quick and easy and accessible, but also beautiful as well. And then my final walk that I love to do, which kind of actually does connect Chinaman's, Greenfields, and so on, is the White Sands walk. You can take this walk all the way from Huskisson to Chinaman's / Hyams Beach. I don't like to do the full leg of it. Mostly I like to start at the Vincentia boat ramp and walk in either direction. So if you walk one way to the right, it will take you up to Plantation Point. There are toilets there, there's also a park, there's also other beaches where you can go for a swim, or if you take the path to the left, it will lead you all the way to Huskisson, past some very grand beachfront properties and through car parks. It's actually a really pleasant little walk over the bridge to Huskisson, and that is where you can indulge in a whole heap of shopping and dining, which brings us to our next segment, my favorite cafes and restaurants. So Huskisson is often the place to go when it comes to food. It can be quite busy, particularly during the school holidays, so I do have a tendency to avoid that place. A lot of people love going to the Huskisson Hotel for a beer and lunch, or even for dinner. They have a great section out the back called the Pavilion, and I've had some really delicious sliders from there as well. It can get quite packed though, so just bear that in mind. I also love a heap of cafes that are over in Husky. So Main Deck, Five Pigs are some of my favorite ones to have lunch at. In terms of dinner, Dave and I like going to, it was called the Quarters, but it is now called Serendipity. We love that place. However, since it has changed owners and thus changed names, it has become a vegetarian restaurant, which we didn't know about the last time we went there, and got a little bit of a surprise with that. That is totally fine. The food is still great, but just with that vegetarian menu, there is less options. So if you are happy to eat vegetarian food, go there, try it out. It is delicious. Or if you are a vegetarian, go there and try it out. It is delicious. But if you want a few more options, particularly if you want meat options, I probably wouldn't recommend it. And this is one that you're probably not going to think of because it's not one of your glitz and glam restaurants in Huskisson, but the Taj Indian restaurant produces some fantastic and very delicious Indian food, particularly their butter chicken. It is so good. And we also love going to Wild Ginger. It is Thai fusion, and it has some great cocktails as well. So if you're after a sneaky cocktail before dinner, make sure you go and check that out. And a new one that we've only tried once, but I can attest it is delightful, is Pasta Boy. They have a variety of different pasta options. That's pretty much just all they do. That's their sort of signature, but it is delightful. There's also a little nook where you can sit in and have your food there, or the last time Dave and I got Pasta Boy, we just took our little pasta bowls that they come in and grabbed some beverages and sat down on the grassy knoll overlooking the water, which is a beautiful way to end the evening as well. My favorite restaurant / cafe not in Huskisson is Albert and Miso's. It's over in the Vincentia shopping complex, not the marketplace, the one sort of in the hub of Vincentia, if you will. They're great for breakfast and lunch, even just grabbing a coffee or an iced coffee and then taking that path in either direction to Huskisson or to Plantation Point is a great way to spend your day. Now on to the final category, and that is shopping. Over in Vincentia, there's not too many shopping options, but I will just highlight two that I do enjoy. There is this very cute little hippie store, literally just a wander up from Albert and Miso's. That is great if you want things like candles, crystals, incense, anything kind of hippie related. If you are looking for fantastic Christmas decorations, go into the Vincentia marketplace. There is a dollar shop there. I'm not exactly sure what it is called per se, but find the cheap shop right at the very end. Get in well and truly before Christmas, and they have some great Christmas stuff. So stock up on that. And then over in Huskisson is where you are going to find the majority of the shopping options. There is a heap of very bougie and sometimes quite expensive boutique shops, but some of the ones that are my favorite is White Earth. They have two different White Earths and I love both of them. One is decked out mostly in just beauty, skincare, wellness products. It smells delightful. If you need anything in that realm, that is definitely the place to go. They have a whole heap of brands, mostly Australian, pretty much all natural skincare, and so I just love going there, and that's where I spend probably too much money. And then they also have a White Earth boutique which has more clothing and lifestyle options. I picked up a few clothing pieces there earlier this year for winter time. And then further down the street, closer to the Huskisson Hotel, is Weekends. This is a new shop. It's only just sort of come out start of 2023, and it is a great boutique for some fashion options, really great styles, pretty affordable prices. They also have a second sister store, if you will, that is just around the corner up the street across from the bakery, which has some more clothing and lifestyle options for you to explore there. Some things that don't really fall into any of those categories, I'm gonna kind of put them in like the family slash adventure category, is going to the Lady Denman Maritime Museum. Even if you don't want to pay entry to go in, you can still have a walk around the museum. They've got a beautiful like large duck slash fish pond there, which has a whole heap of ginormous fish in it. So if you have kids, they might like to feed the fish. And then there is the mangrove boardwalk, which you can access from there and have a wander around the mangroves, and a little seat at the end, look out amongst the bay. And then there also is the dolphin slash whale watching cruises. I would like to go on this again. I've only actually been on it once to do a little whale watching exhibition, but it was really fun. I feel like the dolphin watch cruise, particularly in the afternoon, they swim along the boat with you. That would be a really great thing to do as like a romantic evening, or even just with your kids as well. The thing that I love the most about Jervis Bay is it is so steeped in natural beauty, but there's also just a quiet peacefulness about it too. It's also super accessible to a whole heap of different other cute locations in the Shoalhaven. So if you're looking for more shopping options, you can go into Nowra, where there's things like Spotlight, Harvey Norman, Bunnings, Cotton On, Kmart, a whole heap of other different shops. You can keep driving north and stop into Kiama or Berry for a cute little day out, or you can go up over the mountains into the Southern Highlands and visit Bowral, Mittagong. Great time to go there is definitely during the springtime, where they've got the Tulip Time Festival. I have a whole video on that if you want to check it out. If you keep driving south from Jervis Bay, you'll reach Ulladulla, which is where I was born and raised. You can take the kids for a fun day out at Funland, or you can continue driving south to Bateman's Bay and grab yourself some fresh oysters prices. Either way, this area, the Shoalhaven, has a ton to offer, as does Jervis Bay itself. But thank you guys so much for joining me on this little reminisce and wander through Jervis Bay. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe down below. I put out new videos every single week. With that being said, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.